We welcome Alex Smith back to the show. Good to see you again, man. And as I watch this, and I know from what I've read that you really brought people inside and let them see just how arduous this comeback and this fight has been for you. Why did you decide, Alex, you wanted to allow people inside?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty early on when I was in the hospital, and at that point, I think once things had settled down from a seriousness standpoint, and I kind of became aware of how unique this situation was. At that point, the doctors had kind of, our team doctor, Dr. West, had mentioned to me that if I wanted to, that this would be a great time to potentially think about that it is a unique circumstance. Nobody's really gone through this from a sports standpoint, a recovery standpoint. And for me, that's when I got in touch with Stephania Bell and E60 and first started the ball rolling of potentially documenting this.
17 surgeries, and suffice to say, it got incredibly dark. How do you best describe just how grim the circumstances that you faced were?
I mean, thankfully, I was unconscious for the grimmest part. Really, that weight was had to bear on my wife and family. Really out of it for the most dangerous parts. But
Right.
when I did wake up and left with the ramifications of what was my leg and potential future. Yeah, I mean, it was there's stepping stones. I was confined to a wheelchair for quite a while once I got out of the hospital and worked my tail off to graduate to a walker and be able to use a walker to get around the house. And from there it was can I get to crutches, and obviously I had to learn how to walk again. To have an external fixator attached to my leg for over 8 months is obviously an adjustment, but a series of stepping stones. And for me, it was never about, I think, looking too far down the line, not trying to get ahead of myself, just really, I think, tackling that next step, working, putting everything into that. Can I get there? And not knowing where I was going to hit a wall, if and when, and just trying to keep marching, kind of keep my head down, keep pedaling, keep trying to get to that next step.
Where do you find the strength in the midst of all that? Where does it come from?
I mean, I think a couple things. To be confronted with a challenge like this in life, you don't know when challenges are going to come, what they're going to look like, and for me to have this to come and out of nowhere, certainly a play like any other, and all of a sudden to be thrust in this situation, how am I going to handle that? And certainly to have 3 kids and 2 young boys that watch everything I do, and to see certainly how I'm dealing with this, not the things that I say or talk about, but more about my actions and what am I going to do in the face of adversity.
Right on.
And I got this great challenge. I got this great opportunity, and it's there in front of me, and I don't see how I could pass it up.
I want to get to that in a minute, just sort of what the finish line looks like. But I think about this all the time, Alex. When there's an injury, right? And back when we had sports, I'm doing a highlight, somebody gets hurt. And then the world keeps spinning and the games go on. But for the injured athlete, it's like, I have to imagine it's time stops on some level. Like, how do you process that? The fact that the team goes on and life goes on, and yet you're over here and your life is not the same maybe ever as it was before that. Like, how do you process that?
Yeah, I think luckily enough in my career, I've had some ups and downs, and I've been the guy and then not, and I think I've seen how fickle it can be and how
Right.
quickly you are forgotten, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. You get your time to shine, and guess what? The world keeps rolling and moving on, and you're really not that important. Um, and so for me, I think keeping that perspective, I think keeping small goals. Um, for me, laying in the hospital for that month, laid up and in the wheelchair, I mean, to dream about walking again, to dream about, forget football, will I ever be able to go on a hike or swing a golf club, and then to slowly, physical therapy and get strength back and work your way towards that. And then, okay. And then I start thinking about, well, can I do this? What's the next thing, and will I be able to jump again? Can I jog? All those things. And I think just kind of continue to push it. Like I said, I do go back to the challenge in life, and I got this great big challenge in front of me, and I don't see how I could turn my back on it.
How important is it to get on a football field as the ultimate finish line for you?
You know, same thing. Like I never wanted to sell myself short. I never wanted to let fear overcome me, and to be thinking about playing football again and making that decision. You know, like I said, when I was in a wheelchair, I was on crutches, and when I had the fixator on, and for me, I think just not knowing where my limitations were going to be
Right.
coming out of this, and I want to find out where they are. I still don't know. And I'm being honest with you right now. I haven't hit them yet, and I'm still marching.
Right
and
on,
want to see where that is.
And that's where I land at the end of this is like, whatever the finish line is, like, how can you not look back at the end of it and say, all right, maybe I didn't do this, but like, can I walk? Can I jump? Yeah, yes. You know what I mean? Like, how can it be anything other than a win?
No doubt, it's all icing on the cake right now. Like, I can play with my kids. There's so many things in life that I doubted I'd ever be able to do again, and to have those behind me. Like I said, yeah, it's all gravy now. So, but my mentality is no different. I'm chasing just as hard.
Well, it's 7:30 Eastern, E60's Project 11. Stefania Bell, I know, very involved with all of it from start to finish. And I say this sincerely, man, I'm rooting for you. I don't know what rooting for you means. I don't mean if it's as a player, I mean as a human being. So whatever it is you want to do, you inspire with what you've already done. So stay healthy and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that a lot, man.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.